All right, getting some grooves going here, having some fun. We're gonna play out loud. Play out loud. Play out loud. We're gonna play out loud. Play out loud. Play out loud. We're gonna play out loud. Play out loud. Play out loud. We're gonna play out loud. Play out loud. Woo! Play out loud. We're gonna play out loud. If you're feeling the groove, you can clap on the 2 and the 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, that was 4 and 2. But you get the gist. Let's play out loud. We're gonna play out loud. Play out loud. Play out loud. We're gonna play out loud. Play out loud. We're gonna play out loud. We're gonna play out loud. Play out loud. We're gonna play out loud. Play out loud. We're gonna play out loud. Let's break it down like this. So if you haven't figured it out by now, everything is being created here in the moment. It's all 100% live with this cool piece of technology. I'm improvising, laying down different layers and pieces all together. And this is the cool part about it. I can go, stop it, and start it up again. Isn't technology amazing? So cool. And here I am in Atlanta, Georgia, and you are wherever you are in the world. But these grooves are coming through to you live right now. Because we're playing out loud. Play out loud. All right, we need some solos. We're gonna play out loud. I got one for you, and I know you're not expecting it. My kids love that one. We're gonna play out loud. Play out loud. Play out loud. We're gonna play out loud. All right. I'm gonna end it right here. But the coolest part about this song is I know what you're thinking. You're thinking the song is over, but actually, it's not. That song's gonna be stuck in your head for the rest of the day. You're gonna be playing out loud. Oh, do the dishes, you're playing out loud. Do the vacuuming, playing out loud. We're gonna play out loud. Doing your thing. We're gonna play out loud. Now it's done for real. It's done for real. That time, it's done. All right, let's rock and roll. Woo!
Wait a second. And awesome. That was so cool.
Thanks, brother.
Digging that. Great.
Hey, you know the coolest part is it's still there.
That's so fun. All right. So, hey, everybody, thank you for being here. You are possibly on the QSE Facebook page or Bronkar Lee's Facebook page or the QSE YouTube channel. We're here live and direct. I'm in Long Beach, California, and I'm here with Bronkar Lee, who is you're in Atlanta. Is that right?
Yeah. Hot Atlanta, baby.
Okay. What's the temperature?
Hot. No, it's been warm. The last couple of weeks have been very warm. Like definitely, up in the 90s, solid every day. But the key ingredient that we have here that y'all don't have out there is the humidity. So you take a shower and you get out and you're wet again. It's like
Yeah, I lived in Baton Rouge, Louisiana for about 8 or 9 years, and this time of year, the heat index with the humidity kind of raises everything. It feels like 10 degrees hotter than it really is, and it's serious stuff out there.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, I tried to not let it slow me down, and I just rolled and I just sweated, right? You just kind of live with it and be happy, right?
That's it, man. And it's funny because this time of year, like every year, it's like I fluctuate it's like a bear hibernating. Like I put on weight in the fall and winter, and then when it comes to spring and summer, you can't not lose weight because you're just sweating so much. So it's like it's like so seasonal,
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So before we get too far into this, I would love to have you introduce yourself and give us a little info about what you do and what you've been up to.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm a keynote speaker, a musician, and a velocity coach. So I do public speaking, live presentations, a lot of corporate events, things like that, et cetera, of course. And then I'm a musician, so I play a lot of instruments. I love composing music and playing music, and I have all consciously engineered music to help and heal and elevate and things like that. And then my velocity coaching is I do a lot of group coaching and then one-to-one stuff and really help support people to be in their place of power so that they can be an instrumental human in the world.
Awesome. Yeah, I just love your energy. It's super positive. Makes me smile. Makes me feel good. It's really great, dude. Totally dig it.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, you mostly, what's the hub of where people can find out about you and what you're up to? Is it your website mainly?
Yeah, well, I have two main places. So my website is kind of like my speaker personal page, and that's my name, bronkar.com, BRONKAR. And then my music is on another site, which is called brainbeatsmusic.com, which is your brain and your beats music.com. So those are kind of my two main places to get people to go to. Yeah.
Okay, so one of the first, I think, things that when I was introduced to you was a video of you with your young son. Is it right?
Yeah.
Like a bazillion views and stuff, right? Or something?
Yeah, it got a lot, man. It got like over 200 million, which is way like, and it was me. Yeah, it was me goofing off with my night. It was he's 4.5 now, but it was my 19-month-old. It was like 2 years ago or a little over 2 years ago. And I was beatboxing with him at the dinner table, and he was in his high chair, and it was one of those weird accidental things that we just posted because like my mom liked it. And then all of a sudden out of the blue, we're getting calls from like CNN and Fox and Ellen DeGeneres. And it was really weird, man. And I've been an entertainer for 20 years, and performing everything. And I had never had any like success like that or whatever, like that number of, volume of hits. Yeah. And it was so weird. And I was like, what the heck have I been doing wrong for the last 20 years, man?
It's so funny because like you're doing a beatbox, then you kind of end it on something, and then your son reacts like really in such a funny way, right? And you do it kind of over and over because he's just hooked on what you're doing. And man, those kind of videos I love watching. I also love watching. Have you seen the videos of parents that give their kids, like young infant kids, like lemon slices?
Oh, heck yeah.
These crazy faces and stuff. I can watch that for like an hour and watch these. It's just so funny to me.
Well, I have two thoughts on that. One is we're totally guilty of doing the lemon thing with our kid. Like our 2.5-year-old Nico actually took a piece of garlic, and he wanted to try, and we were like, dude, don't try it. And then he went for it, and he chowed the garlic straight up, and his face was just, oh, it was pretty funny. So we warned him like 6 times, but then we were like, well, if he's going to do it, it's better that than the stove. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And then the other thought I had was, because the video you were talking about the beatboxing video. And I think one, because I really thought about like, what was it that resonated with people so much? And like my beatboxing was fine. I'm like a solid beatboxer. I'm not like a world renowned, like crazy off the charts guy, but it was like solid. But the big thing was the connection with my son, Elijah. And, to me, it's like music is that undeniable force that, kind of bonds everybody in the world. And I think that something through the simplicity of the human voice and this baby connecting with the music and the rhythm, everybody felt like, oh, that baby's connecting with it. We can connect with it, and it was just this very, like, it was no technique aside or, any of that. It's just, there was no like elitism and I'm fancy trained. You know what I mean? It was just raw. Yeah.
It's just pure fun and pure connection. It's amazing. Now, so I'm on YouTube. What would I type in to find it?
Oh man. Well, Facebook is where it went super viral.
Okay.
There's like,
is it on your Facebook page?
No, we shared it, but it actually went viral through other people. There were like 30 or 40 people that posted it, and it got like, I mean, it was like all over, but like, I think if you put in like beatbox dad baby high chair or something like that, you'll see me, and I have hair then. This is pre-shaving. But yeah, it's my kid in the high chair. Yes, you could look for it there. And I could actually do some beatboxing if we want to go in that direction, now or in a few minutes or whatever. Yeah.
I would love to hear. I want to talk to you more about just what you're up to, because I just love hearing about it. I'm learning so much. But if you could play a tune, I'd love to listen to one. I love to have a little bit of talk, a little bit of tunage. If you got another musical selection.
Yeah, here's what I'll do. I'll do a little vocal percussion and another little fun instrument and throw it in, and then we'll get back to some chatting, because I love chatting too, man. I'm full of hot air. That's why I play saxophone. So
sweet.
Cool, man. So this piece, I actually like. This has been in 2005, I guess. So it's been 15 years. Wow, that's how long. Yeah. But 15 years ago, I actually ran away and joined the circus. And when I joined the circus, I actually went to Switzerland, and I became a ringmaster in a Swiss circus. And when I was there, they actually brought me in so that I would create my own language based around vocal percussion or beatboxing, and blended with Schweizerdeutsch or Swiss German. And so I created my own kind of language around that. And I'm going to share a little bit that I did there. I call it mouth drumming. Now, if you take vocal percussion, or what I like to refer to as mouth drumming, and you apply it to other instruments, you can do some fun things. But before I do that, the cool thing that really attracted me to beatboxing or vocal percussion or mouth drumming is the fact that anybody can do it. And so as I was touring in Switzerland, as a ringmaster, my whole piece became about getting the audience to beatbox or make these sounds with me. So my claim to fame is I've gotten hundreds of thousands of Swiss people to beatbox with me. But as I mentioned before, music is this undeniable force, right, that bonds everything in the universe. And my belief is that it isn't, if you think about it, most people don't identify themselves as musicians, but everybody loves music. I've never met a person that doesn't love music. And the thing is we're not all trained musicians, but we're all hardwired for music. Our hearts beat in rhythm. We breathe in rhythm. We walk in rhythm, talk in rhythm. We text in rhythm, email in rhythm. We drive in rhythm. Everything in our lives are rhythmic. And so my passion is to tap back into that with people by connecting with the breath and with mouth drumming. Now, if you were to take what I just did, vocal percussion, mouth drumming, and do it over this flute, you get that. So you get some air. Now, if I were to take that and then wiggle my fingers around and play some nice little math equations over here, right? Some combinations, then you can play some music. Now, another fun fact about me is that I worked for Disney for about 8 years on their cruise ships. I did a lot of shows for them, hundreds of shows for them. And so I want to do a little tribute to Disney here. Now, this song, I will warn you, it is a love-hate song. So either you love it or you hate it, but I will guarantee you that this song will be stuck in your head for the rest of the day.
Yeah. That's grooving, man.
Thanks, brother.
Man, that's cool. All right, so since we're on the QSC channels and stuff, let's talk about your streaming rig.
Yeah, man.
You've been you live stream motivational stuff, you live stream music stuff, and then you also play out live as well. But I think your setup is exceptionally sounds good and looks great. So if you could kind of go through your audio and video kind of gear and signal path, that'd be great.
Yeah, brother, I'd love to. And I'm constantly upgrading all the time. And my newest addition is the QSC, the Touch Mix 8, which is freaking amazing. Like, I'm not saying this because like I'm on QSC like right now, but like straight up, I was talking to one of my best friends in Utah, and he's like a sound guru. And we were doing a session with this right when I got it. And he stopped me in the middle of the session. We're like an hour in, and he goes, "Bro, I have never heard you get excited about a mixer before. And I mean, I've gone through like, I mean, Yamahas, Allen and Heath, Behringers. I've gone through a ton of mixers. But the Touch Mix is the freaking jam. It's so user friendly because I'm nearly Neanderthal when it comes to gear. I have like enough to, I can work my way around a soundboard. I've just been doing it a long time, but the Touch Mix is so user friendly. It's like right there, and you can't mess it up. It feels analog, but it's digital, and there's so many levels, but it's so simple to get a camera feed, a monitor feed, a recording feed, all separate. It's freaking hands down the coolest mixer I've ever had. So I've got everything running through that. And then I've also got the amazing 505 looper here. And don't forget, it's still there, just in case you were wondering. So I've got the 505 here, which is awesome because you've got, fader controls, quick on the fly, all kinds of stuff. I've got the Roland Hand Sonic here, the HPD 20, which I love. So one thing is for me, my main instrument is drum kit. It's my first instrument, and then like djembe and like a lot of hand percussion stuff. But I can't like playing a kit is just, it's so big and loud, and it's not practical for most setups unless you have like a massive studio or like a live show. And so between the Hand Sonic, man, like the sounds inside of that are so good. And then that's when, the beatboxing, obviously, for that. And I've got a lot of acoustic drums around here too. But yeah, so everything patches. I've got everything coming out of the Touch Mix going into the looper. So I've got like Rode NT microphones. I've got the DPA 4088, which is the only headset mic I would ever recommend. All lapel mics should be burned. We should never use lapel mics ever again. I mean, I've got 58s, Shure, stuff. But I've got all this stuff running into the Touch Mix, then into the 505, back into the Touch Mix, and then straight into my camera. And then I've got a HCV 770 Panasonic camera, which is like it's a camcorder, but it's a higher end camcorder, but it's really good for streaming because I'm doing long sets. I might do an hour or 2 hours, or sometimes even full day events where I've got to go live for a long time. So I've got everything running basically down into an 1/8-inch connection into that thing, and then that syncs up into my computer here. So
so that's a camera connects to your computer with USB, right?
Yep, USB. So I've just got a little port, a USB port here, and then I can.
And then we're using StreamYard so that we can both be talking to each other live right now, which is cool.
I know it is, right? Yeah. And I think the sound is like pretty good between, going from like big beats and horns and things like that to just, chit chat. So
I think it sounds great. I'd love to hear another piece, and then I want to talk about your app, your kind of meditation stuff, and more of like what you're up to.
Yeah, man. Do you want to talk about that now, or you want me to play some more grooves, or what?
More music.
Let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna perfect, man. I'll bounce over here. Okay, so this is this cool looking thing right here that if you haven't ever seen one before, you're either thinking that I'm gonna cook some burgers on this, or that you're gonna get abducted. But it is not a flying saucer, and it is not a Weber grill. It is in fact what is called a hand pan, and the sound is pretty amazing. And I will now play some pan for you.
Wow. Man, it's so mesmerizing, that thing.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. They're pretty fun instruments.
It's so relaxing and mesmerizing, you know. But also that was grooving at the same time, which I love.
Dudes, for real, that's like that's what I love about it, is because I play like break beats and drum and bass and metal and rock, like, because that's my, like, as a drummer, that's what I was raised on. Like, I mean, I played in, you know, Rush cover bands and Primus and like all this you know, kind of like rock funk stuff, and I'm playing that on the pan. But it's such a fascinating instrument. It's so beautiful that you can play busy and it doesn't sound busy. It still sounds like, you know, you're still zenned out. You know what I mean?
Do you know, I think those are kind of tuned to specific scales and stuff sometimes. Is that how they're made?
Yeah,
that one is?
Yeah, that's the only way. They're actually heated and hammered. They're like, you have to like beat it into place. So they're all fixed tunings. So you can't just like retune it or change it like a guitar where you add tension or loosen it. So they're all fixed tunings on it. And it's fascinating because inside of each tone field, you're actually hearing three notes. There's the root, the fifth, and the octave. And then you're getting sympathetic resonance from the other tones, which is why you get that big chorus sound. So, I mean, they're just, yeah, man, they're far. I've got like 3 different pans, you know, styles of pans and stuff. And they're really, really fun, especially for obviously like drum. I mean, you're essentially drumming on it. It's just your technique is well, I won't go into detail, but they're awesome.
We talk for hours just about that, right?
I know. Oh, dudes, for sure. Yeah.
Hey, so I have a question from someone on Facebook named Dag Bystrom. Can you expand on how you get from your Touch Mix 8 to the looper and back out of the Touch Mix? Are you using an aux send, which I would assume you are? Yeah. Exactly.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. Great question and awesome name. Yeah, we could definitely be related, right? It's like, yes, Dag and Bronkar. So yeah, I'm doing auxiliary. So I have a separate mix then coming out. So that's the cool thing, is you can break it down and have like sub mixes everywhere. And the auxiliary function is awesome. It's touchscreen. You just look at it and you're like, aux, boop. And then you're like, oh, aux for here. You have like 1 through 4 or whatever. It's like, boop, aux 2, done. And then you turn it up and down. It's like so easy. But yeah, so then I'm running to out auxiliary, and then back in there. And then my monitor feed is coming off of, you can run it a bunch of different ways, however you want. But anyway, I won't talk about monitor feed because you didn't ask, but did that answer the question?
Yeah. It's perfect.
Okay.
There's the thing that's interesting about looping and mixers is there's a million ways to do it, and so that it's fun. Like, I actually also do looping, and I've kind of tweaked my looping setup so many different times, and it just kind of always is evolving based on what I'm trying to do next or whatever. So it's fun stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's really, I mean, like when you couple, like I love the marriage between acoustic instruments, like saxophone and hand pans and things like that, and technology like the electronic. It's such a nice marriage, and it's cool because because I do, before COVID, I was doing all live shows pretty much. I was doing some stuff from home, but pretty much live. And now it's like I basically have a soundproof room. I mean, I've got all my lighting and everything, but I have a contained space. This space doesn't move. So I've got all these condenser mics and all this. This room is so hot. In fact, it's funny because sometimes I'll be doing like a meditation, because I do like musical meditations for like corporate and like companies and things like that. And I'll be doing like a musical meditation for like 1,000 people, and then like I can hear my boys, my 2.5 and 4.5-year-olds stomping around upstairs. And it's because my mics are so hot that I can hear them going, doof, 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 doof. Give me that Lego. Give me that. I can hear them like fighting and stomping, but you can't hear it through like the mix, but I can hear it here because it's like, my room is so live. But yeah, it's a trip, man.
Like, concentrate on your breath and you're hearing that. That's so great.
But that's the ultimate Zen, right? It's like anybody can meditate, but can you find your Zen zone when you have a couple of toddlers like hitting you and scratching you and you know what I mean? That's the real, like that's the real enlightened ones.
Right. So let's transition into that. Your sort of mindfulness, just your whole, you kind of have like a program and an app, and you offer classes and events for companies and stuff like that. Can you kind of just expound on all the different things and ways, people can kind of connect with what you're up to?
Yeah, brother. Thanks. Great questions. So I use music as in everything that I do. So at the core, like, there's always good vibes, so to speak, around it. And so what I wanted to do was take music and take mindfulness, and I wanted to bring it to the mainstream. And so I like to create what I call meditations that don't suck. And because it's got such a stereotype, and I love meditation, and I've had amazing meditation teachers and coaches and things like that. But sometimes it can be, it can feel a little bit elitist if you're not already exposed to it, if you haven't been. So I like to basically like deconstruct the woo-woo. And because I love woo, I love the woo-woo. I love bring the woo. I like maximum woo. But what I like to do is break it down and make it scientific, make it a math equation, make it something that we can actually implement into our lives. And so what I do is then, years ago, I was also a personal trainer, and did that for several years and trained like hundreds and hundreds of people to lose weight. I actually was 100 pounds overweight years ago and got into health and fitness and well-being. And when I transitioned into that version of myself, I got super passionate about helping other people. And in that came like accountability, consistency, structure, routine, things like that. And so what I like to do is take the physical body, all the structure, routine, couple that with the mental body, right? With meditation and mindfulness techniques. And then ultimately those come together to create a harmonious, energetic body, which is ultimately how we put our energetic signature on anything in life, right? So like, how we do anything is how we do everything. And so that's what I help bring the funk and the fun and the flavor and the comedy and the storytelling with the mindfulness and the healing, and put it all together to make it a fun and engaging experience for people, where they don't feel like, they don't even know that they're learning, because we're having fun, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's
so
yeah.
So like during this time of like pandemic, and it's been like what, 5 months now or something, that we've all just been kind of like in this sort of what's going to happen. We're all worried about stuff. How does, like, if you can just kind of expound on, like, this is one of the most stressful times that like I've ever experienced, like for us as a collective human population, just dealing with all this uncertainty and all this stuff that's happening. But how does the mindfulness and meditation and all that stuff, how do you explain or encourage someone to maybe give that a try to kind of help with just kind of like resting your mind and getting yourself kind of feeling like settled, or if you can kind of just talk about how those types of tools and things can help during this time.
Yeah, great questions there. So I mean, ultimately, like, breaking it down to self-care is such a valuable tool, because if and I actually like to look at it as like a metaphor actually for the handpan, right? And with this handpan, it's also, like, a quick side note, I actually don't approve of the name handpan, and I wanted to rename this instrument. And so, like, a couple years ago, I was doing a conference for healthcare professionals, and I came off stage after playing this, and this engineer came up to me and he was like, dude, what was the name of that really cool metallic echo drum thing? And I looked at him and I was like, metallic echo drum thing. And because he just came up with this amazing name. And so I made, as a speaker, I made an acronym, MED, metallic echo drum. And I was like, then you got to get your sound healing. You got to get your meds with your metallic echo drum. So I renamed it that just for me. Nobody else will know what you're talking about if you say, yeah, the metallic echo drum thing. But yeah, that was a side note. But what's so cool about this is when this note's played, as I mentioned earlier, there's like 3 core notes inside of that: the root, the fifth, and the octave. Yeah. And I think that represents individually, right, our body, our mind, and our energy. And if we're in tune together, then we harmonize, right? Now, the next thing that happens here is, this is a metaphor for life, right? This is our family. Each of these tone fields represents our family members, our coworkers, our peers, our friends, whatever. And what happens is, when this note's played, these notes are resonating over here, which is sympathetic resonance. And so that note's played, and then these notes are resonating. And so you're getting this sympathetic resonance between these different notes. And the same thing applies for us as humans, right? If we're not in tune, we can't play beautiful music with other people. Yeah. And another way to even look at that, because sound is so obvious and so powerful. If you've ever seen a symphony before, the first thing that happens is the first chair violinist comes out and plays a single note, right? And when she or he plays that note, then everybody else starts to play their single note, and they're retuning their instruments to A440, 440 cycles per second. And they're retuning, right, before they do anything. These are professionals that have been playing for decades and decades and put in their 10,000 hours, but they're retuning their instruments before they do anything, every time, multiple times a day, right? And so they can't play music with each other if they're not in tune. And the same thing applies for us as humans. If we're not in tune first, we can't make beautiful music with other people. And if you're watching this and hearing that, and you're like, yeah, but I don't have time for that, or I can't prioritize that, or whatever, I totally get it. Again, I've got a 4.5-year-old boy and a 2.5-year-old boy. and they have my DNA, and you can tell right now that I'm a hype guy. They are freaking wild. And it's like full tilt boogie. My wife and I are entrepreneurs. We run a business together, and we work out of the house, and we've got these freaking, how do I say it, extremely spirited boys that are running around non-stop. When I say 24/7, I mean 24/7. Even when they're sleeping, I'm like, oh, they're going to just jump up and start running around anytime. Yeah. But the reason I'm sharing that with you is because we always think right away that we have a lack of time, right? We always say, I don't have time for self-care. I don't have time to take care of myself. But the reality is number one, it's not a time issue. It's actually a managing our bandwidth, managing our power, managing our energy. That's the real key. When we can manage that and figure out where we're putting our power, where we're giving our power away to, then we can have that awareness. Then we can choose where to put it. And if we can just, I mean, my whole thing is, especially with physical health and mental health, it's like, if we can integrate it into the life, that's the key ingredient. It's like, it's not about like taking a course and going and being full tilt boogie for, you know, a week at a, you know, at a retreat or something, which those are really cool. But it's about taking simple things and practical things and implementing them, integrating them into the lifestyle. Like for me, I used to live at the gym. I used to literally spend 30, 40, 50 hours a week at a gym, like exercising. Yeah. And now you couldn't pay me to go to a gym. Like I don't have that time to change my clothes, get in a car, drive to the gym, park, go to the gym, drive home, change my clothes, come. That's like 2 hours of commitment. I have like 2 minutes or 7 minutes or 11 minutes. I have to get my boys to plug into something and not fight for enough time for me to do some reps. So around our house, I've got yoga mats and dumbbells everywhere. And it's like, so I integrate that, right? And it's like, so I engineer an environment where I can't say no. I can't not do it. It's right there. So that's my biggest thing, is how to build powerful habits, build better habits that we can actually implement and integrate into our lives, especially during these times for parents or non-parents that are home and you know can't go out, or for whatever reason, or don't feel like they have time, which is really energy and bandwidth.
Yeah, that's really cool. So tell me about your app. What's it called? Where is it? And what does it do?
Well, my app is on the App Store. No, no, it's actually you can't really get it through the App Store. You can, but it's like, that's what our app looks like, which is really fun.
Yeah.
So our app is called Brain Beats. And if you are interested in it, brainbeatsmusic.com. That's brainbeatsmusic.com. And if you go to brainbeatsmusic.com, I've got over 150 tracks, tons of collections. It's a combination of energizing music that's like, you know, beats and slap bass and saxophone and, you know, drums and stuff. For energizing, a lot of instrumental music and stuff, but also a ton of decompression music for relaxation. So I go out and record like waterfalls and streams, and then I blend it with, you know, the metallic echo drums or native flutes. And then I also have a section on there which is meditations. And again, my styles, I like to create meditations that don't suck. So it's like visualizations and things like that. Which are blended with music. So I compose all the music and do all the spoken word myself. And so it's got all three of those categories: stimulation, relaxation, and meditation.
That's great. That's really great. So me personally, I've been using the Calm app, and they have like a 10-minute daily mindful meditation. And, you know, anyone who is freaked out by that whole word and stuff like that, I would just encourage you to give it a shot. Because the way I describe it, it's like giving your mind a rest. Because like you have so many things on your mind all the time, and if you can sit for just a minute and just let your mind rest, it kind of rejuvenates everything, you know. So I mean, maybe you can kind of describe it a little differently or what's really happening, but I'm such a beginner at it all that it just feels like it's just a time when I am not thinking about anything except for just kind of chilling out, you know?
Yeah, brother. Absolutely. And I look at it as as like eye of the storm moments, right? So inside of the eye of the storm is the silence and the stillness. And just like with music, so much of music is about embracing that pause, right? And the stillness. It's the absence of sound. Like if I were to, even talking, as I slow my tempo down and I pause in between, and even as I take this breath, everybody that's watching this has mirror neurons, and they're seeing that and they're mirroring it. I mean, that's what we are. We're mirrors for each other in life, right? And so if we can just create those eye of the storm moments and slow down, then we can speed up again. Again, I'm a high energy guy, but what I like to do is I like to slow down so that I can speed up again. I like to press pause so that I can hit play again. I like to hit the beat so that I can stop it again, right? That stop, that is so powerful. And when we can settle into that stillness and that silence and embrace that, then we can play out loud even more effectively and powerfully, right?
Right. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Awesome. Okay, so I'd love to hear one more musical piece from you, and then we'll have to go on our happy merry ways, if that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I know, because you were like, yeah, man, 30 minutes. And I was like, dude, we're definitely going to go more than that. Yeah, so I'll do, what I'm going to do is I'll do another looping piece here. So I'll use the 505. So I'm going to just erase for the techie people. I'm just erasing that right there. And I'm going to start a new track. And what I'm going to do is this is going to be 100% improvised. I'm going to just make this up in the moment. And let's see.
Amazing. Love it. Oh, that's so cool.
Thanks,
awesome. Hey, so Bronkar, thank you so much for hanging with me and just chatting it up and playing music. I really appreciate it.
Oh, brother, this is so much fun for me too. And hopefully somebody watching today was moved and inspired, you know, to just, yeah.
You got me.
I got you. Okay. I got the one right there. Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
Everyone else who's out there watching or watching this after the fact, make sure you check out Bronkar Lee. Your website is bronkar.com, right?
Yeah. It's Bronkar. And you can think Bronkar. He's the beatbox man and his name is Bronkar. That's a melody version. So that's what you got to do when you got a weird name.
Yeah. It's cool though. It's memorable. I never forget it. And then Brain Beats, right?
Yeah. Yep. So if you dig the music, go check out Brain Beats. We've got it all right there with the app and the streaming and all of that stuff. And that's brainbeatsmusic.com, brainbeatsmusic.com. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks, and thanks to everyone who's out there watching. And hopefully we'll do it again soon, Bronkar. I want to do it again.
Awesome, brother. It's a pleasure.
Right. Cool. Well, have a good day. Take care, man.
All right. You too, brother.
Bye-bye.
Bye.